What's going on, my friend? Welcome back to another solo episode of the Try and Stop Me podcast. If you are new here, my name is Colleen. You can call me Col. Every single Monday, we drop a brand new episode. On some Mondays, we have some truly incredible souls on the show. They're sharing their stories about their entrepreneurial journeys, their life lessons that they've learned along the way, but they're bringing some type of value to you, some type of lesson that we can take from their story and then kind of implement into our own lives. On the off Mondays, it's just you and I, like today, hanging out, talking with some solo time, me sharing with you some valuable life lessons that I've learned along the way, maybe some quotes, maybe some books, whatever the case is, hopefully that you can take into your world as motivation to challenge you, inspire you, shake you up, help you grow. Today's episode is something very near and dear to my heart, which I mean, honestly, I think if you go back to every solo episode, I've said that every time, but why talk about stuff that's not near and dear to my heart? Anyway, so I mean, if you listen to any of the other episodes, you're going to start to hear that, like everybody else in this world, I've gone through some challenging times. Who hasn't, right? That's the whole point of this. Life is there to help you grow. If we stayed still or just had easy times throughout our lives, how boring would that be? So, today, I really want to focus in on something that truly has helped me, continues to help me, and it's something powerful because it's learning how to get your power back. That's what we're focusing on today. The title of the show is How to Get Your Power Back. And we're going to break this up into three different episodes because I don't want to overwhelm you and have like a 3 hour long episode. So we're going to break it down into probably 20-minute clips every single time. There's going to be three episodes and we're going to go through the steps that I've taken. And hopefully, if you need something to get your power back, to get your mojo back, to remember that you are the shit and this world is meant for you to take over, then keep listening because that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Okay, so like I said, who hasn't gone through some nonsense bullshit in their entire lives? Everybody has. And I think that's the number one thing, the number one step in this entire how to get your power back is to remember that you're not alone in this. You're not the only one that has gone through something, that is going through something. And I think that's a comforting feeling to understand that if you probably just looked across the street or looked at that next person standing next to you getting a cup of coffee, they're probably going through their own challenges in life. Humans interaction, we have emotions, we have feelings. That's what makes us human. And I think what we forget when we're in our own way or in our own head is that everybody else is feeling the same exact way. They might have their own personal stuff that they're going through. They might have their own challenges that they're going through, but you're not the only one. You might feel it in the exact moment, but if you actually just took a breath and realized most people every single day are dealing with something from their past, worried about something for their future, it kind of makes it a lot more comforting to understand that you're not the only one. And you're never going to be the only one. And I think that's really what helped me along the way as I was kind of coming out of a situation that I was in, was realizing that other people have done this too. Other people have been in situations just like this and they were able to move forward in their lives. So I think number one, in how to get your power back. And this isn't like magical power. This isn't like woo woo stuff, even though you know I love that stuff, but it's more how to feel like yourself again, how to feel more confident in yourself again. Because baby, this is going to be a long life. If you are just going to continue to dwell in whatever's going on or whatever happened in the past, whether it was a relationship, whether there was some type of toxic situation, whether it was a family member in the past, and there's some daunting things that have happened to a lot of people. Maybe it was a friendship that ended, they did you wrong, or a job did you wrong. Realize that you're not the only one. There is so much out there and so many people out there that as adults, when we really start to connect with one another and really start to have deeper conversations, you're going to really start to realize that other people have gone through similar situations. A lot of people have gone through a lot of difficult times when they were younger, as they started to grow up. Unfortunately, humans we've all been through it. I don't know what it is. There's good and then there's evil in this world. We're on the good side. Obviously, if you're listening to the show, I know you're one of the good ones, but there's evil out there too. So the evil ones, we need to learn how to check ourselves and to remember who we are. We're the good ones. And just because they tried to take the power away from us doesn't mean that they get to continue to have that power, because it's time for us as the good, let's call ourselves superheroes, as the good ones, to be able to take our power back and remember who the fuck we are and get back to who we are supposed to be, the happy person living this life, conquering this life. Not to say something's not going to happen down the road, because unfortunately, that's just what happens to good people with good hearts. Bad things happen in life no matter what. But if you can learn how to check yourself and bring it back to you, that power back to you, that fullness back to you, that happiness, the peace back to you, then you'll be more prepared in the future for when and if things do happen, hopefully not again, but situations happen in the future, you're more equipped to then say, okay, I know who I am. I know that if I lose myself or if I go downhill, whatever the case is, I know I'm powerful enough and strong enough to be able to pull myself out of this because I remember who I am. So, number one is really realizing that you're not the only one in this. And it's time you realize that you are number one and you come before everyone else. I want you to realize that you need to remember who the fuck you are. And I know I'm going to curse probably a lot on this one because it's so important. It really is so important for me for you to be able to understand that you matter. You matter more than you ever think that anybody else thinks that you matter. I know I'm in it too. Most days I'm in my head where we talk to ourselves more than we talk to the outside world. At least myself, I do a lot more. I talk to myself. I have like this internal dialogue that I'm sure most people do, where I come up with scenarios, I start putting things into my head, and then like I'm on a role play map and it's just like going back in time or in the future or whatever the case is. I've really started to check myself on that, because when I start to feel a certain way or when I start to get into that old rut, whatever the case is, because we're human, it's going to happen. You're going to start to go backwards in time. But if you're on this evolution path, if you're on this path of getting your power back and you're checking back into yourself and you're growing and you're evolving and you're looking for ways to make yourself healthy and put out healthy boundaries or whatever the case is, number one is learning that you come before anybody else. I don't care if you have a relationship. I don't care if you have kids. I know that's easier said than done because I don't have kids. So it's easier for me to say that. But if you're not happy and you're not fulfilled and you're not content in your life, you're then going to portray that to the outside world. So, number one, when you wake up in the morning, you have to check in with yourself and you have to realize you are your number one. You're the one that's going to create the future real in your head of how your day is going to go. I know myself, if I wake up in the morning and I don't kind of check in with myself and I let like a bad dream or something come up from the past, my entire day is going to be ruined. It's a mood that I get into that I have to actively flip the script on. And it's easier said than done most days, but it's something that's a part of the healing process. That's a part of learning and growing and evolving, right? So it's something that I have to actively set the tone instead of just allowing for myself and allowing for myself to be like, oh, it's just the way that I am. Getting your power back is also calling yourself out and realizing that you are the one that's truly in control of how people are going to treat you, of how your happiness is going to happen, of the things that you allow in your life or don't allow in your life. So if you don't check yourself in the mornings, who is going to check for you? Outside sources. Is that what you really want? Or do you want to be the one to write your own story? We all have a story that we need to write. This life of ours, it's a book. You have the pen in your hand. You're able to go. I'm sure you have a story. I know you have challenges. I know you've gone through things in your life. You're the one that's in control of being able to write the narrative for how the story continues to go. Not end, because we got a long ways to go before that happens. But learning how to check yourself yourself and realizing that you come before anyone else, anything else, before even getting a cup of coffee, realizing, talking to yourself, set the dialogue for the day, and try to go forward that way. I'm not saying that it's gonna go perfectly throughout the day because, I mean, we're adults and we have jobs and life and bills and chaos, and I'm sure if you have kids, it's like the second you actually walk out of your bedroom, it's already starting. But realizing too, I've started to go about the days, and when I do get that trigger or when I do get that I don't know, I feel like the power's kind of dwindling because it happens. Let's be real. Like I can act like I'm a powerful boss bitch all the time that I want, but I am also crawl back into a hole once in a while, if we're honest, because it's just life. We're humans. So those moments, that's when I really have to look in deep and stop the narrative immediately in its track. Because if I allow it to continue to go down that hill, there's no stopping it. So I've started to really, throughout the days, when I get to a point where I'm starting to feel this like self defeating thought or self defeating moment, or I know I've talked about it before, but you really, really have to, if you truly want to get your power back, if you truly want to become this more confident, happy person, you need to learn how to be able to check yourself in the exact moment that it's going down. So, for example, if I'm walking around and I'm starting to feel in a bad mood, it's just as simple as that. You know, if some people, if you've gone through some stuff in your life, something can trigger you on the street that you never thought would trigger you and immediately reverts you back to something that happened to you. And you're now immediately in that moment, not in the current moment, but in the moment of just a memory. So, what you have to do is stop and say, this isn't the life. This isn't the moment. What happened then? Or even if it's just like a friendship or hearing somebody say something or just like seeing a quote or whatnot, that can trigger you. Like there's little things that a TV show can trigger you on if you've been hurt, if you've been neglected, if you've been wronged, but like I said, by a friend or a family member or whoever the case is, something somebody does, you know what I'm talking about. You get into that mood and you're like, and the whole day goes away. So learning how to check myself in that moment of saying like, "Carl, this isn't the moment. This is a past experience. How you are today, you are happy, you are safe, you are healthy. And what we're going to continue to do is we're going to put something on right now in this exact moment. I don't care if I'm at work. I don't care if I'm in the gym. I don't care where I am. I put on a song. I have like a Spotify playlist of just like bad boss badass bitches, songs that are just kind of like super motivational, super happy and uplifting. I don't go to sad music. I don't go to like crying my eyes out music because I don't want to be that. I that's not my goal. My goal is to not go backwards. My goal is to go forwards. So some type of empowering song and what I would suggest that you do is Pinterest is a great source. So for me, a lot of like I like reading, but sometimes I don't have the time to read like a whole book and get lost in a book. So for a lot of the times, like if I'm on the train or if I'm in the gym or if I'm at the office and something's going down and I get in that mood, I pull up the phone and I go to Pinterest. And Pinterest will give me quotes because you get to pick. If you've never been on Pinterest before, you're missing out, but you get to pick the type of content that you want. So for me, I really love quotes. It's something that I've always enjoyed. If you're that type of person as well, Pinterest is a great source of just like get yourself out of that headspace that you're in. Find some type of motivational quote that you can literally type in like powerful, empowering quotes or motivational quotes or something like that. And the quotes that you start to see, it'll actually start to show you similar options, then you're starting to read these like empowering sentences, empowering paragraphs. For me, I have all these different boards that I use. That really truly helped me become stepping out into my own self, back into this powerful person. So, really, for this quick episode, that's my homework that I want you to do. I want you to, when you're in that mood, if you're really looking to get your power back and you're like, Kyle, I am so ready to take on this world. I want to, be unstoppable. You already are unstoppable. I wanna go out there and conquer my dreams, but I have all this, like, baggage in my head that I can't get out of my own way. That's what I want you to do. I want you to remember who you are. You come first. You're not alone in this at all. Most people have gone through something similar. If you ever need somebody to talk to, I am always available. You can DM me at Kyle Blum and I will have a conversation with you. But Spotify, Pinterest, those 2, I want you to start making playlists for yourself and Pinterest boards for yourself so that when you're in that mood, you can save the pins, you can save the song, and then when you get in that mood, you just put on your playlist or you pull up your board and you start looking at similar quotes. I promise you it has helped me so, so much in my journey of all of this that it hopefully it can help you. So I want you to remember this. This is your story. This is your book. This is your pen. This is your journal. You're going to now start rewriting it. And we're going to do that with the help of how to get our power back. So I can't wait to see you on the next solo episode. But next week, we have another interview dropping. And that one is going to be a lot of fun because it's going to be a little bit different. I can't wait to see you there.